Hey everyone, welcome to another HEB virtual cooking class. I'm your host today. My name is Scott. I'll be here. You can call me Guy or Hey You or even Scotty or whatever makes you feel good. I know Charlotte, my moderator who's with me, likes to call me everything but my name. Just don't call me late for supper, especially this supper. Charlotte Samuel's with us, the great Googler, my friend, my moderator, timekeeper, planetary personality. What else? What else am I missing?
Keep going. I like where this is going.
Doer of all things, workout phenomenon.
There we go. Yep.
Fashionista of fashion things in various parts of the country.
That's good.
Great sand queen of certain deserts out there.
Perfect.
I'm sure there
That's
are ones.
it.
Sort of.
That's it.
Hey, we're happy you're here. We're doing a traditional recipes from around the globe, only there's a little kind of kick to this. With all the recent rise in, 23andMe and really learning, about our own cultural heritages, whether it's yours, your family members, you married into a big family that may be big into, you married into a big Irish family, big German family, big whatever kind of a family that you run into, and all of a sudden you've got all these great cultural dishes that you've never really had. What I love to say is, Charlotte, is that no matter what that culture is that you may have just found out you're a part of or may have married into or whatever that is, or just wanting to learn more about and cook more of a certain kind of food, your palate speaks more languages than you do. So there is always the ability to do new things, try new things, and cook new things, and embrace new cultures and new cuisines. This is also kind of not only traditional recipes, but it's also really about the stuff that I love to eat. And I know, Charlotte, you will definitely echo this. But
wait a minute, a whole class around what you like to eat.
What I like to eat, yes.
Sign me up.
Without the ho-hos and ding-dongs, those are not, scratching that out, that's not a part of, not this one. Next one maybe, we'll talk about my favorite sinful desert island treats. But no, it's really about, we look at things, this is for an example, my mother-in-law, my wife's side, she never knew, we always thought she was Sicilian. They had her father's side of the family, all Sicilian, second generation, came over upstate New York. We always thought it was kind of very Italian, big Italian family. Well, she found out when her sister died that her mother, because she was adopted, was full French. So like, you have full French on the one side. You can imagine, like, it was like, wait a minute, we're French, all this thing. So you naturally want to dive into this heritage. And so it became very much about like, well, I want to find out about the wines and the culture. And so
of course,
wherever you find yourself, we like to, we want to show you, like, it's about, like, we're not doing surgery here. This is not a show where I'm going to show you how to do surgery and save somebody's life. This is not that kind of show. This is literally all about making food accessible and showing you some really fun things that both Charlotte and I love to do. We love to cook, and then just making it easy and accessible. You will fail over and over again. We fail all the time. We fail live. There's no teleprompter. This is live. There's no redos, retouching, or anything like that. This literally goes out live. So what you see is what you get. But what's great about this is that every time you fail, you're going to learn. I'm going to show you my failures, that what I did through just doing things in my own stupidity, because I like to, I'm a big dumb animal, so I like to do things the hard way sometimes. But we're just going to show you some of these things. And we're going to start with our Greek-style braised lentils. We're going to do a variegated, I love this, sheet pan variegated pink lemon bar. So what is first of all, before I go any further on the other recipes, variegated pink lemon. Charlotte, have you had this, first of all?
Yes, I have.
I love these. I'm going to show you this real fast. Take a knife. This is a variegated lemon. You see how the inside's pink? This is a regular lemon. See how the inside is not pink? So our variegated lemons have that little, some of these little striations on them, which is regular lemon.
Which is why they call it variegated.
Listen to what Charlotte says. She knows what she's talking about. That's why they have the variegated name, but they're pink, and they're a pink variety, and they're really good. The reason why I chose them for this is not only do we have them, I've been able to see them at my HEB plentifully, the pink lemons. They really give there's a little different flavor. They are, every lemon varietal has a little different nuance to it. And I love the rind of this we're going to do in this, as well as the actual juice itself. Now the juice, when you juice all this, a cup of juice, I'm going to show you mine. It's not exactly going to look like pink lemonade. I know it may be deceiving. If you want to kind of make a pink lemonade look to it, you can always add a little bit of red food coloring to your mix. There's a chance that it may bake out depending on what kind you use, but just know if you want to kind of make it a little more pink lemon, you can add a couple of drops of the pink lemon bars. Or pink lemon bars? Pink lemon food coloring into the pink lemonade. There it is.
Pink lemon
and I wrapped it all tight in a bow for us all. All right, after we're doing that, we're going to go into our, I love this. Avocado carpaccio. So we're doing two kind of things. The carpaccio, obviously Italian, typically shaved, really nice pieces of like tenderloin or really nice beef, shaved raw, served with like capers, some onions, maybe some Parmesan cheese, some good olive oil, maybe some truffles. I love this. We're doing avocado style, so for my vegetarians and vegans out there, great one. And then we're going to make a dukkah. So a dukkah is a, I love this. So this is the furthest back we're going in history. Dukkah actually originated in Egypt, ancient Egypt, and I think it was called dukkah. Dukkah. You can always Wikipedia that to make sure. Did you have something? Oh, I thought you were writing up a cue card. That you had a cue card over here like this.
Nope,
like,
I do not remember this.
No answers here, folks. I'm not cheating. But it's a spice mix, and traditionally it's done with different nuts and spices. And it's used as a condiment. It's used as a seasoning. It's eaten just plain by itself. I love it on avocado. And if at one point in your life avocado toast wronged you and you're like, I'm done, that is it. There's no more avocado toast anywhere near my life. I want it out of my life. I want it gone. Just know this may be the thing that rekindles your love with the avocado, the beloved avocado toast. I've never lost sight of my beloved avocado. There's actually a sign on my HEB that says all these avocados belong to Scott. He just hasn't paid for them yet or picked them up. But I've touched every single one of them. I'm going to show you how I pick mine and how I do that. It's a lot of fun. So the dukkah is really, really good. It's really simple, and it's a really fast thing to make. All of these recipes we're doing tonight are really all about ease. So if you're, as we're moving into kind of summertime, as we're moving into stuff, don't think these are just for special occasions. These are also anytime. These are great ways to kind of trade out your normal weeknight recipe routine with something new and delicious. The last thing I'm going to do is our Norwegian style butter sauce. The reason why I called it our Norwegian style butter sauce is because the actual Norwegian butter sauce is called a sandismiferd. Sandismiferd. You can Google it. It's an actual word. And I didn't make it exactly like that. So I made it in style.
Okay.
I kind of did our own thing because I know it's a lot of it. Typically in Norway, they do this dish. There's a lot of seafood, so a lot of fresh seafood. So they'll use this sauce as a kind of a ubiquitous thing for pretty much all seafood. But there's little ways to do it. So I've kind of added my own little titch. So that's what we're calling it, a Norwegian style butter sauce, lemon butter sauce. It's really simple. And again, this is like sauce making 101. It's really simple. Let's get started. We're going to make our Greek style braised lentils. Let me get the things here. I'm going to heat up my pan here. I'm going to get a big. Oh yes, Charlotte, I did. This is actually a K&T pan. Can I show you this real fast?
Yeah.
We do a lot of these classes. If you want to check this out real fast, you can simply go to our website, heb.com or youtube.com/heb, and check out all the classes and where we literally beat these pots to death through various different courses and very different classes. This is a fantastic pan. It's a K&T big copper pot. Now you can see it's probably seen better days, but you know what? It works perfectly, and we're going to use it for this dish as well. It's got a little clear top. It's got the little copper style handles on it. It's very neat, very chic, and the whole thing cost under $40. It's fantastic. Don't go to those expensive restaurant supply stores. Go to HEB, walk the GM section, check all the great stuff that's in there. If you are watching on Facebook, welcome. Just know that things like this, hey, it's shoppable. You can pick this up and you'll take you to the link. You click on it, it'll take you to where you can go pay for it, and you can cook along with us. I'm going to slow down now. I'm going to turn this on. So my Greek style braised lentils. So this is just I feel like, Charlotte, people don't cook enough with lentils. I don't know that. I'm just making a big statement on, I don't know if people
statement?
utilize lentils enough. And so the lentils is really the star of this dish. Can you tell the difference between the homemade stock and the store-bought stock?
There's nothing wrong with store-bought stock.
Nothing wrong with it. We are going to do a class at some point. We're going to show you how to make homemade stock. It's going to be a great class. It's really simple, but always for convenience, especially on the weeknights. I know we're time-starved. You can always pick up the stuff. It's just as good. We've got some bacon, so we're going to kind of baconify this. If you wanted to make this more vegan or vegetarian, you can omit the bacon, add a little smoked paprika, and maybe throw in some tofu or some tempeh or that smoked. They have a lot of those great meat alternatives. If you watch the class that Charlotte did, all those great plant-based alternatives. There's some that taste like hickory smoke and things like that. You can always add one of those in place of that, and voila, this is vegan. But I love the bacon in this. It's got a lot of depth of flavor, and this is more of a center of the plate kind of a meal. It also is a great side dish. One quick thing, whenever you work with lentils, I work with a lot of lentils. Every once in a while, and I've done this because I've eaten one, they sift these guys. There are stones that are the size of the lentils that also make it in the packaging. Now, they do a lot of work to make sure when they're manufacturing these and they're kind of getting sorted that they do a good job getting rid of the stones. Always, always, always. These are just our green organic lentils we get from HEB. I always will just sort them like this. Just pour them out of the bag into my cup measure and just do it slow. And if you see anything that looks off or does not look like a green lentil, there's some that look cracked and you'll kind of go, ooh, that's different. Cracked is okay. I'm looking for something that is clearly not belong. And usually the stones you can see, they could be a little darker. Oh, is this one? Did I find one? Nope, just a lentil, they got a little darker, but you never know. So you gotta check them. So I just always, as I'm doing it, just kind of slowly sort those out. I've already sorted mine out. I'm gonna leave these guys back in here. We'll use those for a later date here. Back in the bag. We just sort them. It's the best way to do it, real quick, doesn't take very long. Sort those guys out. I got my bacon, I got my lentils. I'm gonna move this stuff over here. I can smell my pan is hot, the K&T, a little olive oil. We've talked about smoke points, and yes, I'm using an unfiltered extra virgin olive oil. Don't freak out. Every olive, especially extra virgin cold pressed, every olive is a little bit different. So even though they say, you hear a lot of chefs say that if you use extra virgin olive oil, don't saute with it, don't go over a certain temperature. Well, every olive has its own smoke point. Picual olives, which is in some of the blends that we get, have a little higher smoke point, so they're not all the same. So I'm fine sauteing with a little bit of, this is really hot, so I'm gonna turn this down again, our 17,000 BTU stove. A little olive oil, bacon's gonna go right in. And we're gonna get to sauteing this. Now I'm gonna get this really crispy, Charlotte.
Okay.
Because although this is a braised dish here, the bacon I'm using, if I may show you while this is sauteing here, I wanna cook my bacon really crispy because when we add all the liquid, we add the stock and everything, it's going to soften naturally. That's how it's gonna happen. It's not gonna stay crispy, but when I'm eating it, I wanna identify those pieces of bacon. So if I get them a little crispier, yes, they're gonna get soaked in water with the lentils, they're gonna cook, but I'll be able to identify those pieces of bacon and go, what is out of my mouth? What am I eating? And that's, you wanna do the bacon. My favorite bacon, Charlotte, right here.
What is it?
I know it is yours too. This guy, center cut, ready to go. Watch this.
I love that
Center
too.
cut.
Yes.
Dude, it's like, it's there. It's wrapped, it's ready to go. This is like diceable, it's ready to rock and roll when you are. I cut it in half, I dice it. That's what I use, 12 ounces in there. Again, plant-based alternative. We had so many. If you missed that class, go back and watch it on our YouTube channel. That channel again, go to youtube.com/HEB, check that out.
So lentils are one of the most widely consumed legumes across the globe.
Love
The
lentils.
French do lentils quite well. They grow all
Yes.
different varietals of lentils in France, North Africa. You find them in
North Africa.
India. You find them all over the place. So and they're
mine.
very inexpensive and they stay
like
forever.
that.
Like dried beans, dried lentils. They're great.
I love it.
Great source of fiber, by the way.
I like that. As we're sauteing this, I'm gonna zest my garlic. I've got some bay leaves. The lemon. I'm also using mint and dill, and I know we've talked about this before. If you're like, dill should be only in pickles, and mint should only be garnishing my cheesecake when I go out to dinner. They're fantastic, and if you don't add the mint and dill to this dish when it's done, you kind of fold them in at the last second. They're amazing, and that aroma and that flavor just makes it a whole different ballgame. So we're gonna dice up. I'm using red onion. I think it's because I'm using red onion because I wanted to do something a little bit sweeter.
Okay.
So I would use a shallot here, but I feel like I give a lot of love to shallots, okay? Like there's no shallot comes to my house and it's like, I don't feel loved. It's like, no, we use them all. I do that, but I don't give a lot of attention to red onion. And so I was kind of thinking like, Charlotte, follow me, Greek salad, the red onion, like kind of thing with the Greek. I'm like,
Yes.
you know what? I'll just use, let's go, I'm gonna do a little red onion or purple onion. We've also had this discussion. Feel free to weigh in the chat. I get about that. It went, I don't never got ugly, but it went a ways with the purple red onion.
They're not red. They're purple.
They are more purple. They are. Some people just call them, I think the skin on them is more red. I'm gonna dice mine in here. I go around the actual circle. I don't like making the little indentions in between. I'm just gonna follow the actual line and go there. Also, I'm not really worried about it being too perfect on this dice. I'm gonna get to here. Just gonna roughly chop all this stuff. And again, with this guy, just a little, purple onion, red onion. Why is it I always want to say red onion? Why is it that?
I think it's interchangeable. I think the culinary term is red onion.
That's
Hey,
why.
really quick, James on Facebook wants to know, can he cook his lentils in an Instant Pot?
Yes, you can. You can. You probably will not need as much liquid as I'm doing because I'm not doing it in traditional, so you won't probably need as much because it's going to obviously hold everything in there.
Most pressure cookers like that have instructions, have a recipe for to cook dried lentils.
I would say follow the instructions on that, James, and let us know how they turn out. But I love this. I'm going to zest my garlic because I like to do that.
I
if
love
you're
to
new
zest
to this
my
class,
garlic too.
If you've never been to one of our classes, Charlotte, one of the best things I would say is, one of my favorite tricks that we do on here is we zest the garlic. Why do I do that? If you don't want to chop the garlic, and typically if I was going to chop it, I'd smash it, the garlic, and I would roughly chop it. But this This will blend in so that nobody's gonna get a piece of like garlic that may not cook, or if that's not your thing.
Okay.
You want it to be kind of heard but not seen, if that makes sense. Kind of in the background.
Seen but not heard.
Well, yeah, yeah. But I kind of want to hear it, but I don't want to see it. That makes sense? So yeah, it's kind of like.
So you want like a whisper of garlic?
Yes, like I don't want to see it floating in there. I just want to hear about it in my palate to go, hey, there's a little bit of garlic in here. I'm getting it, picking it up.
I get it.
Like that? All right. So I zest it, because that way all the oils and everything come down. It's really simple, and that way it's completely minced and ready to go. To this, and I show you this.
Show me.
Not lemon juice, lemon peel. This seems weird. If you've never added, I add lemon peel to almost every single stew, soup, or anything braised I do.
Yeah.
Because I really love, especially for something like this, like Greek style braised lentils, we've got a little bit of oregano. We've got all that stuff kind of happening together here. I want all this to play really, really well together. I'm gonna add my bay leaves on top of this. This is all gonna go in here, and it's all gonna get stewed around in our pot. So you see how my bacon's getting a little bit crispy? I don't know if you can see that, Rob. See how it's starting to get a little crisp? All the aromatics are going to go in. We're going to get those nice and caramelized. I want a nice California tan on my aromatics here.
Look at that. Okay.
A little California tan on that. I don't need this guy anymore. I'm going to keep my knife. This is going to get a little, now because there is a lot of salt in the bacon, obviously, there's a little bit of salt in the bacon. Just know, I'm going to add a touch here just to bring out some of the moisture in my vegetables. Boy, the lemon, the bay leaf, already. I can smell it kicking. All right, my oregano is going to go in too. I'm going to add that guy. Gotta have the oregano. I'm a big fan. We talked about Sicilian oregano.
We did.
The other week, and I feel like that's a huge, I'd love to have those branches of that Sicilian oregano to kind of shake over stuff. I love that.
I know, right?
Moving this guy out of the way here. All right, so while this is going, I am going to add my lentils.
Okay.
So if you've ever seen us make rice on this program, we like to saute the rice, or stir fry the rice, if you will, to kind of cook some of the starch out and get some of that flavor, because the rice, just like these dried lentils, are going to soak up that flavor. So if we get them in there earlier, as everything's kind of rendering and all that stuff's going, they're going to soak up some of that flavor. So I'm going to give them a little toast while this is all going here. So lentils are going to go in. Your stone-free sorted lentils are going to go in.
And you're using green lentils.
I'm just using the regular green lentils.
Okay.
If you're using the red lentils, we do have red lentils as well.
Yeah.
They're a little bit smaller and they require less cooking time and less liquid. So just know that if you're going to switch from the red to green, it does require a little less cooking time on it. So I'm going to let this saute for a second. While that's sauteing, let's make these variegated pink lemon bars, sheet pan variegated. I want to show you something because I did call myself a dumb animal earlier, and there's a reason for that. Before we decided to do sheet pan variegated lemon bars, when I was creating this recipe, it was a lot of like, how do I want to make lemon bars? I want to make them like, I want to add flour to it. Do I want to do like a crust underneath? Do I want to have them like, how do we want to do? There's a million ways you could probably do them. And so I decided I want to do it on a sheet pan so I get a thin cookie thing, but I want them kind of like, I want the cookie to kind of go up you can see my, again, this serves its purpose.
I love what's happening.
It's got a little groove, so when I pour the custard in, it's thin. Now, if you don't want to use the sheet pan variegated, the sheet pan as your vessel, you can always use like a 9x13 as casserole dish or a bigger casserole dish if you want a little bit deeper. Do know that the shallowness of the sheet pan and the cook time on the recipe is designed for this. So if you decide to go with something bigger, like a bigger pot or whatever, double the recipe, make it a little bigger pan, just know it will affect your cooking time. So you want to go, this is how I'm going to show you, you want to go the same thing, wiggle, jiggle. Wiggle's wet. Wiggle's where I wiggle it and it just kind of goes brr, 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 brr. That's not set. So if I do jiggle,
it's a new dance move.
Jiggle's like brr, it kind of like will kind of stop. It won't necessarily flow to the end and keep like a pond you throw a rock into. It stops. If you get to the point where you open up your oven and you kind of jab your custard, if it's fully set and not moving, take it out. Let it cool here. The recipe says 15 minutes, and again, every oven's a little bit different, so 15 minutes until it's pretty much just jiggly, like almost where it's almost set, jiggly. Turn off the oven, let it sit for 5 more minutes to kind of set up, and then pull it out, let it cool. All of that residual, like that heat, is going to continue to kind of set that custard. Now, funny story about this is, the sheet pan lemon bars is that there's definitely the cornstarch and the acid. What that does, a little bit of science to this is when you have cornstarch and acid and you're doing it, it actually will set the acid sets off the cornstarch and will actually set a little bit earlier and a little bit faster with less temp. So it sets up pretty quick. Because I know you're probably thinking like, does it have enough time to even gel at that temperature? It does, because we're using a good amount of acids. Our recipe calls for about a cup of lemon juice. Our lentils are almost ready to be braised here. Let me grab my cookie dough.
It smells so good in here.
It smells really good, right? All right, this is pretty much, you know what, I'm good with this. I'm gonna go ahead and pour my...
Use your stock, please.
Oh, I'm gonna use it all. I gotta use 5 cups of this.
Okay.
So I got 4 cups of the homemade, and then a cup of the store-bought. Again, nothing wrong with store-bought, totally fine. Everybody's in a rush, right? All right, give us a stir. Pop the, this is what comfort food is all about. Like braised, slow cooking. We're gonna add those herbs. That's good, we're gonna let that go. My cookie dough here, I put right here. Now you could use anything. I honestly, if I'm doing this, I actually kind of like to use the cookies themselves, the ones that are in like a little sheet. Let me show you. These are great. These are perfect. These are Hill Country Fare. I'm actually going to use these guys because I think it goes a little bit faster. But what also made it faster, and imagine if you will, me sitting in our test kitchens and at home when I did it numerous times, and I'm testing this and I'm like doing this by hand, right? Because I'm smashing, 2 things of cookie dough onto the pan to make it all, my base. And as I'm doing that, I'm like, man, there's got to be a better way because it's uneven, and in my head, then I'm walking literally yesterday, making the last batches for the class, trying to get everything sewed up, ready to go, right? I'm walking past my HEB's GM department, and I see this tool, and it literally was like lightning struck me, but I also had that, oh, you're so stupid, Scott, that moment where it was like, why wouldn't I have just done this in the first place? Because you can use a rolling pin on these, but there's this.
What is that?
K&T pastry roller. Saved my life, literally saved my life. Not literally, but saved my life of time. Because I was sitting here, this is exactly how this looked. You ready for this, Charlotte? This is me, 17 to 18 different times, smashing down dough. Now imagine how much longer it takes to do it this way, to get this all the way spread out. You can, because I did it. So I promise you, you can do the same thing. In the notes, you will notice, I give a little chef's tip, because if you have like hot hands like me, give your cookie dough a little dusting of flour. That'll make it easier when you're trying to roll it out. And plus, when you finally go get this, so just get it right now, you can click on a little K&T pastry roller. Come on, Charlotte, how did I not know this was a thing? How did I not know every time I walk past it, I'm like, how would I not ever see that?
Who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks?
Telling you, daily, it's daily. So you roll this guy out, get it all the way to the corners here. So
I love this hack. This is brilliant.
So you can make your own cookie dough, you absolutely could, but again, we're making this custard from scratch. We're doing all this stuff. You don't have to kill yourself, right?
Yeah.
This is something where the kids can get involved. This is not dangerous unless they start, smashing each other's faces with it, and that way take the toy away, put them in timeout.
That's right.
You're in control, right? But I love this because it really is something you can get the whole kind of family into. So you roll it out. If you notice it starts sticking, if it's starting to warm up, if your kitchen's really warm, things start to stick.
A little more flour.
A little more flour, just a little dusting. You don't want to go super, super heavy. It'll all be fine, I promise you. I've made this so many times. But again, we're going to push it all the way to the edges here, both ways. But this is so much easier, Charlotte. Can I tell you how many times I struggled and it was like wonky or like,
So
you
no
can't
parchment, chef. No
I'm
parchment.
not doing, I did parchment on the last ones and I'm going to show you. For this one, I'm not. This is just a tutorial.
To
so I'm just
show you
gonna
how to do it.
Typically, you want to put parchment down on there. It just makes it a little easier.
Okay.
I will tell you, there's a lot of sugar in this. So once it gets set in the oven and you let it sit out and you refrigerate it, you probably want to eat this, unless you freeze it, you want to eat this fairly quickly because all the sugar and everything will start to weep and it will get a little bit softer. They're still delicious, but they will get a little softer. I'll show you what that actually looks like because I've had some sitting out of here that I cooked yesterday and put out. And then I refrigerated them overnight. And I'll show you what they look like now that they've had some time to kind of sit out. So just all of the edges, just rolling this up to the edges. And you kind of see what happens here. Everything goes. Just kind of move it all down to where it needs to be. Just kind of get it all in the right spot here. But you see how much easier and much more like uniform is it? And if you got a little bald spot right here, don't worry. Just roll the dough up in there. All right, so here we go. Now you're going to take it, roll your fingers around it, kind of create that little lip. Don't try to dock this. Commercial store-bought doughs like this have a lot of leavener. They're meant for a long shelf life. So it's not like traditional dough. So these will still rise despite your best efforts. If you try to dock it, it won't matter. It's still going to rise everywhere. So I'm going to show you a little trick with that. And that's just basically getting it kind of built up around the sides. And then we're going to use our spatula. Our spatula is going to, any big pieces you're missing, just tear it off. The ones, if I've got too much over here, just tear it off, fill it in. It's all good. Sheet pan, variegated, pink lemon bars. All right. Is that everything? Did I do that fast enough? Still have time now? Okay. Into the oven. This goes away. 15 minutes.
We'll got a
check
timer
it.
right here.
I'm going to pull it out. This is the tool. Don't forget that. Anything else you want to, you can grab. You can do anything else, but that one is the best tool to grab. Let me check on our lentils here.
I'm going to do it for 14 minutes.
14 minutes, good idea. All right, I'm going to turn this down a little bit. That is cooking
Can you open
really,
that
really
so we
well.
can see what's going on in there, please?
Yes, are you ready for this?
Yes. Ooh.
Steam reveal, see that? It's beautiful, it's cooking away. Again, they're soaking up all that flavorful liquid. I am going to do a little bit of, I don't flavor my chicken stock at home. So I'm going to give it a good pinch of salt here. Again, we're going to add a little feta cheese. I love feta cheese on my braised lentils.
I love feta cheese.
Ooh, baby, you better believe it. Okay, now the custard for our lemon bar. Can I show you this?
Yes, show us.
This is another thing that I did. Don't be like me. I was going to bring out the blender, Charlotte. I was like, you know what? It's that show that we were like, we've always done it, and we've done the blender. And I've done this in a blender as well, but I want to show you, because I have this guy laying around, it's all about power tools and danger whenever possible around here for me. I'm going to use an immersion blender. You can absolutely take all the ingredients, you can whisk them together in a bowl, but I'm all about using a really powerful machine to do that for me. So if you want to do it old school and whisk it, you can. I'm all about utilizing the blender for everything. Anything that needs to be whisked together, anything that's wet, I usually will always do via immersion blender, or I will do it in my actual blender, because why whisk when you can just have that do it for you? And that way it's going to create that little vortex. It looks prettier on camera, Charlotte, and it also just makes everything nice and homogeneous. It makes the mixture all good to go. So let me show you this.
Okay.
So first things first, here's my variegated pink lemon juice. I squeezed an actual cup of the pink lemon juice. When I say there's a lot of sugar, you know, typically if you're looking at added sugars to your diet, or you're worried about adding sugars, or worried about how much you're consuming, this is all of them right here. So if you do this, you have lemon bar, this is all your sugar you're going to need for the day.
Interesting fun fact about the variegated pink lemon.
Tell me.
Is that it contains lycopene, which is which is the same polyphenol that's found in tomatoes and grapefruit that gives it that red or pinkish color.
Oh, there you go. Does it say anything about the flavor? Anything being different about the flavor?
I do believe it has a more floral note. But
it is. They're really good. You can tell the difference. If you make them, you can use this. You can also make lemon, like lime bars. You can make just straight lime if you want to do that. But and you can make regular lemon if you don't have the variegated lemons in your store, your H-E-B locally to you. Totally fine. Those of you watching from around the world or around the country, if they don't have the variegated pink lemons, use any lemon you like. There's some really great lemons out there. So all my eggs, all 8 eggs, go in. My vanilla extract. So at this point, you should have in your container here, like I do.
How many eggs? 8?
8 whole eggs, 2.5 cups of sugar, half a cup of cornstarch. That's our binder. When this goes in the oven, it's going to heat up. That's going to create our binding agent, which is going to get everything together. The cup of lemon juice, a little pinch of salt, which I never like to leave out because there's a lot of sweet. We want to really balance out. It's about a half a teaspoon to a quarter teaspoon. And then a good amount of about 3 tablespoons of the lemon zest, about the variegated lemon zest, which is, I do about 4 of these guys.
Okay.
This zester has definitely seen
the
better
leaves
days.
of the variegated lemon, the tree, are also variegated. So they also have those strips.
They have those little, you know, we bought a variegated pink lemon tree at home that we've had for probably 6 years now. And I think we've gotten 1 lemon off of it, 1 pink lemon, which I could not use to make this recipe. I just cut it and put it in a water because that's all the tree
I
would give.
just cut it and put it in a water.
I couldn't do anything else. I don't know why it won't give us fruit. I think it hates me. Also, I'm not good at growing
That's
things.
it. The tree hates
It's formed
you.
an opinion. It's been like, I've seen this guy walking around and I'm out. I'm not
Do
going
you
to not
have
do any
it
fruit.
planted in the appropriate soil?
It's in a big pot.
Did you use citrus soil?
So, yes, we did
Palm,
actually. We did.
succulent, and citrus all like the same soil.
And not only did we do that, Charlotte, but we also put in those little citrus plugs where they like to have the citrus plug. So it's helps feed them.
Oh, so
fertilizer
you
plug.
might be over fertilizing.
You think I could be? It could be.
I
All right, it looks like
also-
enough zest for now.
I'm not a horticulturist, so
Well, you heard it, folks. She just gave us good advice, and that's good for me. Just like a pharmacist, I trust you just like that, Charlotte,
Okay,
with all my horticulture
okay.
advice, and you should as well.
all right, here we go.
Can you see that, Rob? So why would I just whisk this, right? When I have this powerful tool at my disposal, why would I ever? Look how much faster it does this. It blends the sugar, it's blending all my cornstarch. It's making sure there's no lumps. If you miss something with your whisk, you may get a little lump in there, and that's not good. Somebody doesn't want to bite a lump of cornstarch. That's not good. So get it nice and homogeneous, make sure it's all mixed together, and you're good. And then this guy, guess what? He goes right off of this into the dishwasher. I'm done with this guy. I really want to do the blender. I do it a lot at home, so just know I wanted to do the blender, but I didn't on this one, so.
Did you not do the blender because you didn't want me to rag on you about the blender?
Because I was waiting for it to blow up on me. This one, it definitely is messy, so I'd use this because I was like, but also, I like to do this in a pouring vessel because, let me also show you something. When I made this 17 times, I did like this, Charlotte. What did I do? I did like anybody. You're like, all right, I baked this. It's hard. It's set. It's ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and pour this in here. Boop-a-loop-a-loop. And I'm like, I got to get to the oven without spilling this really full. So that I'm like, doop-a-loop-a-loop. And then you're like this. You're backing up. And you're yelling like, get the door. Somebody get the oven door. Somebody get the door. Hurry, get the door. That was me at my house doing that. Don't do that. Just learn from my 17 times failing. I've got cookies in here. I've got another oven preheated. Open the oven. Plus, every time you open the oven, you're going to let steam out, right? So just do it one time. You open the oven, put said cookie dough onto the actual sheet, then pour, and then it's a much shorter distance. For most people, you're probably like, duh. But for me, it was like, I had that moment of like, why did I just do that? Why would I walk all the way? So you pour it on there, and it just very gently slides in so that you don't end up with burned lemon sugar all over your oven. It's smoking, the fire alarm's going off, the kids are crying, and your wife's going, what did you do? And I'm like, I'm sorry.
And that, friends, is how Tompkins ruined Christmas.
So just take it from me, make it easier on yourself. Our lentils are going. We're going to make our dukkah. Really excited about the dukkah. My avocados. All right, let me do this. We're going to plate this up now. I know you're hungry. Let's get this going now.
Starving.
Okay, our dukkah. I don't need these cookie dough anymore right now. So our cookie dough is baking. What's the timer on that going?
You have like
Charlotte?
6 minutes, 6.5 minutes.
I don't know, Rob, if you can see this, but you can kind of see it's puffing up a little bit. Let steam out. See how it's puffing up everywhere? So if I'd have docked it, it wouldn't have mattered. It still would have done what it's going to do. So I'm just going to let it do its thing. All right, the dukkah. So we're going to make the dukkah first. And our handy, this little guy, I got the lid on right, Charlotte, because I know sometimes this little guy can be a challenge to work with.
It can be a challenge.
It can be, but we got it all knocked out, ready to go. All right, the dukkah. Dukkah. So I use different stuff. So now if you have a nut allergy,
This
I'm
is
going
not
to
the
try and
recipe
navigate
for
around.
you.
This may not be the recipe for you, but I'm going to try and navigate around this. If you want to, you can take your seeds out of the equation. So I've got 2.5 or 2 ounces of hazelnuts that I've toasted. Now, you can get these in here. We sell these like this at H-E-B. Or I love to take the raw hazelnuts. This is the raw, or also known as filbert to his friends. These are the filberts, and they have the skins on there. So when you roast the hazelnuts, the skins start to peel off, and eventually they come off a little easier, and you can just kind of wipe them off, and they look like this. This cigar here, that's the hazelnut. That's a whole hazelnut. You can use those. I like this application of these little things because it's about the right size you need anyway, and they're already crunched. So if you don't want to blitz this up, I'm going to blitz this up so it's about the size of like panko breadcrumbs.
Okay.
Because I want to kind of sprinkle it over like a seasoning. If you want it to be more something you can kind of like spoon over your fish and eat like it's a side dish, because I'm using the pine nuts that are the same size almost as a hazelnut, you can keep it all whole and just mix it all together, and you don't need a food process. But I'm going to, because I want to, again, use it like a kind of like a seasoning or a condiment on top. All right, pine nuts, sesame seeds. If you are nut adverse or cannot do nuts, my best alternative, and then I'm going to go for those of you that are like, what if I'm nut-free and gluten-free? Follow me first. Use all your same cumin, coriander, and ground fennel. Add that to a breadcrumb mixture.
Okay.
If you're gluten-free, add it to a gluten-free breadcrumb mixture or those pork panko. But if you're trying to stay away from meat or whatever, you just go to regular panko. And then blitz those up together. If you're just allergic to a pine nut or something like that, this works with any nut. Smoked almonds, regular almonds,
Perfect. So
cashews.
if I hate hazelnuts.
If you hate hazelnuts, which you do,
because they're gross.
Also, they're delicious. You just hate Nutella. Just say it. Just say you hate Nutella.
I also hate Nutella because Nutella comes from what nut?
Hazelnuts and cocoa.
Disgusting. Why would you ruin chocolate like that?
You want the straight answer, Charlotte? The real answer is just to make there be something in life that you have to overcome. So for me, it's if I just have you eating hazelnuts every once in a while, maybe you'll overcome this fear or hatred of hazelnuts. I could be wrong.
No.
That may not be the way it goes.
My
but
child eats Nutella out of the jar with a spoon.
So you'll come around then, because eventually she's going to go, Mom, you're going to be like, I'll. And there's the kind of thing like where you, as soon as you start eating, you go, like you kind of do that.
I tolerate it. I can tolerate it.
All right, a little salt and pepper. We want to make sure there's nothing else that's seasoned in here. I'm using completely raw nuts that I've toasted myself. Toast the pine nuts, toast the hazelnuts, real quickly in a dry pan, not very much. You can also toast them in an oven if you want more, kind of an even tan on those. And I'm just going to pulse this a little bit. It's on the chop setting. Now, you're not going to chop up the sesame seeds, so you may be asking yourself, why are the sesame seeds not getting chopped up? Because I want everything to get evenly incorporated. So those spices I've added to this, the salt and pepper, I want them to be evenly incorporated into all of this. And so I just add them. If you don't want to, then you can always just add them or fold them in later. But I find that using the food processor for this just makes it so much easier.
Okay.
All right, my mixture here, and you can see it makes a lot. Again, if you had a bad relationship with avocado toast, I want you to know there is still a chance for you to have something better out of your relationship with avocado. All right, let me put a little dukkah in my fancy little K&T.
How long can you store this stuff?
This stuff, I usually keep this in my, no lie, I usually always make dukkah about every 3 months. So I have it sitting stored in an airtight container in my pantry. Dark, airtight, nothing over, like if your pantry gets like 80 plus, put it somewhere where it's a little bit cooler. You don't need to refrigerate it though. But it lasts a good long time. There's my dukkah. Let me get my avocados here. I pick avocados everywhere, every store. Every store I go
Tompkins
to,
has touched every avocado in NHEB.
you can think of, I've touched. Let me check this out. Let me check out my lentils here. Lentils are looking good. I'm going to pick up the tempo of this a little bit, get them going a little bit faster here. We got to make salmon in my Norwegian butter sauce, which takes seconds, but I'm going to show you this. My avocado, this one is not ready. If you have to get into an avocado and push hard, it's not ready. Give it some time on the counter, put it in a paper bag. This one, not ready either. This one is like just to where it's probably going to be perfect, where it just has enough give to where, see, I can hold it like this. It's not falling off my knife, but there's enough to where it'll actually hold it. And I'm going to twist the avocado around the knife. I'm going to open it up. Perfect. A little seed in the middle. Edge of your knife. Don't do this. Yeah,
no,
like
don't
right
do that.
through the soft flesh of the avocado into your hand. Use the heel of your knife, and with your thumb, just flip it away from you. Push away, or get on the edge of the trash can and just kind of bang it out on the side, but don't hit the trash can with the heel of your knife because it will damage your trash can. And then just throw that little guy away. Or if you want to plant an avocado seed, you simply take the avocado nut or stone in the middle.
Okay.
And you can put some toothpicks in it. You kind of jam toothpicks and you put it just so the bottom of it is in water and it'll eventually start to grow roots. It's really cool. Again, away, scraping away, not toward. This is one of those things where the kids can definitely help you, but don't let them do this part. All right, I'm going to cut my avocado in half here. We're going to take these guys out of their skin. We're going to get them, we're going to tell them to disrobe of their outer garments and be free. Just like the carpaccio, you would get the beef carpaccio, is just straight meat done easily. I'm actually going to put some gloves on because my hands are going to get really, really nasty. That is going here. This is such an easy dish to do, and this is like one of my favorites for like just brunch or anytime. It's just having some avocados ready to go, cut up, a little salt, a little pepper, a little dukkah over the top. Now, I make my own bread, so I would always have one of my big fat pieces of bread or toast, toast it up, and they're big. I make those big bowls, those big like ball style. Timer's off? All right, sweet. Watch this. Thank you. Oh, I can smell it too. Here we go. All right, ready for this? Watch. So my thing has collapsed a little bit. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Move over, avocado. All right, watch. This is how you do this. I'm going to put it right down here. Towel. Holding on to this. I've got a flat spatula. We want to kind of create the indentation. So I'm just going to take it. I'm just going to kind of press gently along the side to create that little edge. Just that little lip. That's all we got to do. Just enough to kind of pack it down.
Got it.
Let this cool completely until it hardens, and then you want to pour your mix on top, and then it goes back in. But let it cool completely. See, we kind of got a little lip there. If you need to kind of force it, guess what? We can kind of, it's still malleable. Malleable, good word. Haven't used that in a while. Still malleable, kind of push it up a size, get your little rim going. Let it cool. At least 30 minutes to an hour. Don't go before that. Don't try to rush it, because I promise you it's not going to end up well. Let it do its thing slowly. All right, we're back to the avocados. My lentils are going. I can smell them. That cookie dough smells good.
It smells, I can smell it. Man, that is a perfect avocado.
Vanilla sugar. I'm telling you, I've touched a lot of avocado, Charlotte. I'm like if there was such a thing as an avocado doctor, maybe there is. If you're an avocado doctor, I apologize. I don't have an actual PhD or MD in avocados, but I feel like I have similar to what would be considered a PhD or an MD. Just my own, that's my own seal of approval. If you need your PhD or MD, just come see me. I'll put a little stamp of approval on you. We'll call you certified. That's how I like to do it. Charlotte appreciates that kind of certification, right?
Yep.
All right, we're going to take our avocados. We're going to spin them around just like this. I'm actually going to put another glove on. Make sure, since I'm handling these are ready to eat after all, and I want to make sure my friends here can actually have some and not be worried about my cooties. All right, we're going to basically thinly slice the avocado, and then we're going to push toward the way. And then we're just
I see what you're doing, but I have a really important question.
Yes, ask me.
What if your avocado isn't ready?
What if my avocado's not ripe? Put it in a paper bag.
Okay.
Save your dukkah on the counter. Wrap up your paper bag really, 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 really tight.
Okay.
And then hopefully over a day, if it's real tight, it'll probably get ripe pretty quickly.
Could you put it next to your bananas?
You can.
I've heard that.
You can. I think it's anything that gives off that I don't want. I'm going to probably misquote it. Acetylene gas or whatever that gas is, something like that. But see what I'm doing here? I'm just lining them up. So I'm just going to take we're taking it, right, thin slices. We're going to turn it on its side here toward the cut side. We're just kind of fanning it out. That was a big cut on the last one there. That's all right. This is why you're doing it carpaccio style. So if you have any mistakes, we can overlap with other avocados. So we're going to take it, again, I'm going to brush it. I'm going to fan it out here. And if they don't look as pretty, I'm going to get that guy out of here. I'm going to move him out of the way.
I can't wait to eat this.
Fan it out.
Oh my God, the cookie dough. It smells so good in here, y'all.
All right, again, fan, a little push out here. Doesn't always work out. That one's fine. We're going to move out. That's one I get to eat as well. That's for your avocado toast. All right. Again, little fan here, just like so, right over the back. Again, a little chop. If they start to get a little bit weepy or mealy, you can always just move on to the next one. But these actually they're holding up okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what are you going to eat?
Let me do one more. Can we just share, Chef? Can I have a little bit of what you're going to do? A little bit? Okay. Always, salt and pepper, right?
Yes.
A little bit of salt. Now, I did add a little bit of salt to my dukkah, but I didn't go crazy because I want to make sure that I have enough salt on this. This is where we're going to get a little crazy. All right. So here's my dukkah over the top. Again, it's like, it's texture, it's crunch, it's spice.
Is this something that's meant to be eaten right away?
Yes.
Okay.
Eat it right away.
So I wouldn't make it and then take it to a potluck.
You can absolutely take it to a potluck. I'm going to throw some shaved red onions on here.
How do you keep it from getting brown?
A little acid. Brush it with a little bit of lemon juice.
Okay.
Take a brush. Do you want me to show you?
Kind of now.
I have 3 of these. I didn't show you the one I'm carrying on me because it's in a concealed pastry. I've got a concealed pastry carry, and it's in a spot where I can't show you. This is what you need. Brush lemon juice right over the top, wrap it up with plastic wrap, and it's safe to travel. Capers. Last thing I need on this. I love capers, man. It's like briny. We got a little of that acid, a little lemon juice, a little fresh pecorino romano. Avocado carpaccio. Okay, now we need our salmon. This is a really simple sauce. You ready? How much time I got, Charlotte? I have time?
You've plenty of time.
Check out my, okay, check this out. I don't know if you can see this. Can I show you this? This is my lemon bars.
I want to see the jiggle. That's a wiggle.
That's wiggle.
We can't
That's
see
wiggle.
back there,
That's
but I
right.
can see back
Don't touch
there.
it. Don't touch it.
It's a wiggle.
It's a wiggle.
There
Let
we
it go.
See? Nope.
We're not there yet.
That was a wiggle.
We're not there. Let it wiggle. It's going to wiggle all the way down, but it's not going to wiggle onto
Rob,
our
that close-up shot was amazing.
wiggle, wiggle. That's right. Have you met Rob, Charlotte?
First time.
Kind of a big deal when it comes to things like the shots that we need and stuff like that. Kind of knows what he's doing. All right, here we go. I'm going to kick that up. The lentils look really good. I'm going to give another stir here. Look at that. See how they're getting? I don't know if you can see that. See how they're just soaking up all that liquid? All that lemon juice, all the bay leaf, all the stock, all that stuff coming up. All right, my sauce. Really, really simple. I'm going to do my small pan for the sauce here. First, we got to melt 4 ounces of butter. Why 4 ounces of butter?
Because I said so.
Exactly, because you need 4 ounces of butter. If we're going to call something a lemon butter sauce, we can't go a little bit of butter and then oil. It has to be all butter. So we're going to use 4 whole ounces. That is 1 entire stick. And again, you don't have to eat it all just in one setting, right? It can be dispersed evenly for you. These are all the other ingredients. It's lemon juice, it's a little bit of heavy cream, and it's my mustard, which is going to work as my emulsifier.
Yeah.
So as that goes, I'm going to get another pan really hot. I'm going to put my wet rag back up here.
So
my
this is sort of
sanitizer
like
rag.
a lazy man's hollandaise.
Yeah. A lazy man's what?
Hollandaise.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I thought you said, I don't even want to tell you what I thought you said, but what to say? Lazy man's
What
hollandaise. I
did
like
you
that.
think I said?
Oh, no. That's why I was like, lazy man's what? I was going to say, I felt like I needed to make that PSA to Charlotte. Charlotte, I'll remind you, this is a family show. It's uncut, unedited, so keep all your comments. But now she said hollandaise, so we're good. I was just being over cautious. All right, we're gonna heat up our pan. I got a couple sides of salmon. I love utilizing the center cut. Let me show you this. You know, when you walk into H-E-B, you've got a bunch of different options. You see how fast that's melting? That's our stove for you. I love the center cut. These are also from Norway. And why would I not get Norwegian salmon for a Norwegian butter sauce?
I mean, that makes sense.
So on the nose, right there. I've also got my these Atlantic salmon portions. They're really simple. Again, the meal's simple. Again, it's all about convenience for you. I love to eat salmon. It takes some convincing sometimes for my wife to want to eat salmon, or my family, but they'll eat it if I prepare it right and you season it right and they like it. They'll eat pretty much anything.
That makes sense.
All right, here we go. In with the cream. Actually, I'm going to pour lemon juice in first. We're going to let this reduce a little bit. Okay. Now, this is going to help my butter from starting to brown, and my heavy cream is actually going to keep it from separating. And then I'm going to add the mustard, which is also going to kind of help all this stuff stay emulsified. This is kind of pan sauces 101. Now, you could absolutely add your shallots, add your garlic. You could do anything in this right now that you wanted to kind of flavor that in the butter if we wanted to. If you want to make this a garlic lemon butter sauce for scampi,
okay,
this is money with that. But you just need to saute your butter and the garlic first, then add your lemon juice. You can let it reduce slightly. We'll add the cream. Then we'll add the mustard the last possible. I'm going to let that reduce for just a second here. That's in a happy place. My lentils are looking good.
I'm so hungry.
They're going to be delicious. I'm telling you. Got some salt and pepper in my pan there. All right, that's getting pretty good. Don't touch your pan like I just did. I just like to touch it because I feel like, number one, it makes good TV. Number two, I like to make sure it's hot enough. But that's like me we talk about preheating your grill, the 4x4 rule, where hold your hand over the hot grill and you go get your grandma. Grandma, you go check to see if the grill's hot. Hold your hand really close to the grill, see if it hurts. It's like, don't do that to your poor family members. Don't do that. I'm saying don't do that. Don't do that to your poor family members. Real simple, salt and pepper. Way I like to cook my salmon is the way I think everybody that I know likes to eat it. Same with Charlotte Samuel. A nice hard sear,
yes,
about 80% cooked on one side before you flip it over and finish it. That's how we're going to do this guy right here to finish this all up. All right, my salmon is down. I'm going to let that go. I'm going to throw this guy away. All right, that's going to go for a second. You see our sauce is kind of like starting to tighten up a little bit. Guess what? Going in with the heavy cream.
Okay, heavy cream goes in.
Oh, yeah, heavy cream goes in.
Okay, question.
Yes.
Can this be good on chicken?
Yes.
Perfect.
So
and then like
in
a fried.
Norway,
oh my gosh, like I see this being on like a schnitzel type thing.
In Norway, they use this because there's I think so much seafood. They use it pretty much on seafood.
Okay.
On all kinds, but this is absolutely good on everything. Not only is this good on chicken, Charlotte, this would also be really, really good roasted cauliflower, broccoli, asparagus. It's in season right now. Spring vegetables, like all that kind of stuff. And we're gonna cook this until, see when I wipe this, see how it's all kind of coming back in?
Yeah.
Eventually it's gonna get thick enough to where when I do this, it's gonna be a clear line before it all starts to run together. This is kind of sauce making 101. I'm going to turn this down a little bit.
So can you make this sauce in advance and like?
You can. You could reheat it. You may just have to add a little
break?
more cream to it. It could probably. But we've kind of got. We bought ourselves some insurance, right? We've got the cream that's kind of helping to stabilize. We've got the mustard, which is going to really help. I'm going to add a little pinch of the pepper, a little pinch of salt, because everything's got to taste good. This is where you could also. I mean, there's variations. You could throw a little white wine in here instead of lemon juice. I mean, you can really go anywhere. But I feel like since we're doing all this variegated stuff, we'll go with this. All right.
Can you check on your lemon bars?
My lemon bars? You want to see if it's wiggling?
I want to see.
All right, you ready for this? Watch.
Yes. Wait.
Ooh, see that?
Wait for the camera.
It's
We
set.
haven't caught
Is it
up.
set?
Do it.
See,
Oh, it's
I'm
set.
moving it.
Those guys are ready. See how fast that happens?
It's happened. That was like what, 3 minutes between the time? So that goes in. Oven is off. My ovens are off. That is it. It's going to let it sit for about 5 minutes. We'll plate up the one I have over here right now. Look at this sauce. See this? See what I told you? Ready for this? See how it's getting there? Ooh. You should see a parting of the Red Sea when you are ready to do this. Just imagine. We talk about Egypt. There you go. You got Moses. We got that whole thing in the Red Sea, the Egyptian dukkah. We're kind of tying everything. So we just tied it all back. I didn't even try to do that. It just all tied back together here. Parting of the Red Sea. See how thick it's getting though? This is already kind of that, what's the French word? Not all sec. Nappe. That's the word I'm looking for. Nappe will coat the back of a spoon. What is nappe? I will show you right now. Take your spoon, dip it in the sauce, see what's coated on the back, take your finger, streak it through. Does it run? That's nappe. We're going a little bit thicker than nappe. Ooh, it's so good. But needs a little, you know what it tastes like, Charlotte? Take a wild guess.
Hollandaise sauce?
Nope, lemon butter sauce.
Oh. Just kidding.
Lemon.
Can you overcook this? Can you break it?
You can, but it's really, I mean, I was over really high heat. It really won't break on you that easily. You can always add a little more.
Is it because of the heavy cream?
It's the heavy cream. It's the mustard in there. It just kind of really helps hold this all together. But I'm going to really low heat. All right, I'm going to turn this off. This is looking like it's, oh man, look at this. Come on. All right, this is off. This is about to go off in a second. Yeah, I'll leave that there for a second.
Lemon bars. Lemon bars.
Are you ready for it? I'm going to cut them right now.
Oh, man. Okay, herbs. Sorry.
Let me get my herbs here. All right. I did lick my finger, so I'm going to wipe my hand on my sanitizer rag here, just in case I hit it on there. I do that for you, Charlotte. Stop the spread of germs. Only I can stop the spread of germs, right? All right, a little fresh dill, a little fresh mint. Little roughly chop here. Just going to get that nice, and I want a little bit of that fresh dill. I'm telling you, it makes this. I want all this fresh herb in here. That goes in. I'm going to give that a stir. All of a sudden, we're like so aromatic. You see how my sauce here? See how it's starting to kind of like get a little like it might start breaking? It's not. We're good. It's gotten really thick. So this goes off the heat. We're off the heat now. See that?
Oh my gosh, beautiful.
So you can see how quickly it thickens up. Our salmon here. Are you worried about our salmon, Charlotte?
I am not worried. Not when it comes to you cooking fish.
You worried?
Never worried. Ah, perfect.
All right, that's going to finish. All right, lemon bars, this is done. I'm going to add my feta cheese at the last second of this, but this guy's good to go. My lemon butter sauce is done. My fresh herbs here, I'm going to get rid of this real fast. Flip this guy over. Lemon bars, here we go. The ones I made last night, earlier, it's all running together, so I don't really know when I made these, but I made these as well. I take a pizza cutter, kind of go around the side, kind of make sure it's all free. There is parchment under this guy, but we're just going to kind of drill through here.
Wait, where's the copious amounts of powdered sugar?
Oh, I'm going to do it in a second. Okay. That's how you cover the mistakes, and I'm glad you brought that up. So the top, you see how it gets nice and caramelized? It kind of looks a little bit like, all right, here we go. And I even did what you said, Charlotte. I even tried to wipe my blade. It just gets a little bit sticky. This is where I said, like, where it kind of gets a little bit sticky once it's been sitting out. So I went from refrigerator to the thing. It's been sitting out for quite a few hours. It's still fine. It just gets a little bit softer. Not the actual gel itself. The gel is going to stay gel. It's the cookie crust that runs into a little bit of that. That's why I always want to cook it a little bit longer.
Okay.
This is ready to come out now. I can feel it. I can feel it coming out. Here we go. Oh, it smells so good. It smells so good. There you go. There's your lemon bar done. This goes right over here. It's going to cool off. Let it sit for quite a while before you refrigerate it. My salmon's looking good. If you have your trusty K&T plating dish like I do, you can use your K&T disher like so. Turn this guy sideways here.
Oh my God, the suspense is killing me.
The suspense is killing you.
I want a corner piece. Thank you.
You got to have that corner piece, right? All right, where's my parchment? There it is. I got to get underneath that parchment because it's always a bear. The first piece coming out of the parchment's always a little tough, Charlotte. Here we go. Ready? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I'm underneath the parchment. This is what happened before. That happened in rehearsal. Stand by.
I'm standing.
I got this, though. We got this. I got salmon ready to go. I got my lentils ready to go.
I know. I can't handle it. There's
Just
so much.
this up. It's all ready. It's all ready to go. I need to kind of clear these guys out of the way here. I need to get this guy. Sorry, I'm going to have to sacrifice this guy because I need to get to that. I need to get that parchment. There it is. There's my parchment underneath. These scraps, still very, very good to use, by the way. You know what's funny is
do you think it would be better to cut them when they're cold?
Yes.
Okay.
You can definitely cut them when they're
that?
cold. Okay, here's one piece.
Oh my God, that's for me. Okay.
Here's a second piece. It's that parchment, man. When they just sit out too long sometimes.
Remember when you were like, I'm not going to perform surgery, and now you're performing surgery?
Now I'm performing surgery. It's gotten real, folks. Here we go.
A parchment never hurt anybody.
No. All right, let's do this. We have a bunch of lemon bars all ready to go. Depan them very carefully with your K&T, and then put your copious amounts of powdered sugar right over the top.
That's it. Yum.
To finish this out.
Powdered sugar has this cooling effect in the mouth, so it feels really good with the like super citrusy acidic note.
But
Love it.
It also just covers up any mistakes, right?
Yeah.
So it covers up any mistakes you may have made at the top. But that's why I call them sheet pan, because they're thin. They're thin, they're easy to do. My salmon, you ready for this?
Yes.
Let's do my lentils first, because my lentils are ready to go.
Can you put, okay.
My lentils, this is off. I want this big pan, you ready for this? This is super hot. You can see how hot. I believe hot food should always be served hot. Get that in there. A little feta cheese.
I want a lot of feta cheese.
Final plating, folks. Final plating here, folks. Feta cheese. I love the feta cheese here.
I love feta cheese.
Oh, I'm telling you. And before we can finish out, get some of my fresh parsley here. A little bit fresh parsley. Hot braised lentils into my sauce here. I got some parsley.
So beautiful.
I have my dill and I have my chives. These are all going at the last possible second because we want to make sure they stay really fresh. Not a lot. A little bit of fresh dill. Love to have the chives. This is where your aromatic note's going to come in, right? We have a little bit of that chive, a little bit of that onion, that aromatic-y flavor.
Yeah.
The herbs, the parsley.
Aromatic-y flavor.
Aromatic-y. It's a new word. You stay tuned to this channel, folks. I'll teach you all kinds of
I love
fun
how
words.
much you use fresh herbs.
I love fresh herbs, man. Right? So good. All right, here we go.
Oh,
Stir
so pretty. Get
It's
in
off
my
the
belly.
heat. It's off the heat, so now all those herbs are going to give up all their fantastic, like, all those essential oils, everything. It's going to be beautiful. This can go away because this is ready now. Stay on there, little plate. I got you. All right. My salmon.
So excited.
Here we go, Charlotte. Here we go. Okay, what piece you want? Which one do you like better?
Show me. The one that's touching the side of the pan.
Salmon. Ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna need a little more sauce than that. I don't know what that was.
It was just, it's a compliment shot.
Okay,
A little
a compliment. That's right.
I'm gonna get these guys out of the way so you get your final shot there. Guys, it's just that simple. Again, all around the world, it's really all about your palate speaking more languages than you do.
That's
Give everything a
true.
try. And then just kind of tap into, what is your heritage? What do you, German, Irish, wherever background you are, it's kind of like figuring out what those flavors are and then try to incorporate them and get into the history of all things that are great. I love food from all over the world. I love the cultures. I love the uniqueness of so many great dishes. And I love how you can kind of make it your own, make it unique, and make it something that you want to serve to your friends and family. Guys, don't forget, go to our YouTube channel, check out all the past content. So many great episodes, 30-something plus episodes, what we've done.
Yeah.
Great celebrity chefs, great tips, great tips,
Yeah.
techniques, great recipes.
Yeah.
Go to our youtube.com/HEB for new and upcoming classes. What's next? Simply go to our HEB.com/classes website. Charlotte, what is coming up next?
Next week we will be doing Mother's Day brunch with
Holy cow.
Chef Scott, with a guest moderator,
Guest
Chef
moderator.
Jen. I
Chef
will not
Jen.
be here. So sorry to miss you
Wait,
guys.
tell everybody why you're not going to
I will be getting married.
So
So sorry I missed you guys.
fine.
But it'll be great. And
we wish you happy. We're going to bake bagels. It's going to be stinking awesome.
sorry to miss it. I'll have to go to our YouTube channel
That's
and watch
right.
it.
Well, you simply go to youtube.com/HEB and check it out. Guys, God bless. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time.